What's the crack, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Cards Everywhere here, bring you another weekly league deck profile. So I am still working on my Fearsome Flyers and the Occult deck. So I'm just bringing you this deck as it is what I will be using to climb this week. It's a fairly standard Natural Monuments deck. There's a few cards that I changed around just for the energy this week. But I think it'll do just fine to climb up the ladder. So I'll give you a quick rundown and we'll jump into a game. So first up is the Door to Hell. On the draw, your cards in hand burn 50 until played and gain 50 power this turn. Next we have Rainy Strenger. On the draw, if your deck has 3 or more Norse mythology cards, your Natural Monuments cards, wherever they are, gain 25 power until played. Next we have Vinkunka. On the draw, if your deck contains at least 1 card from each album, your Majestic Mountains, Natural Monuments and Hidden Gems cards, wherever they are, gain 22 power until played. Then we have Cyclopean Isles. On the play, your original Odyssey cards, wherever they are, gain 29 power until played. And on the return, your Natural Monuments cards, wherever they are, cost -1 energy for 4 turns. So this is the card that allows the deck to function this week, as it is a low enough energy week. Next we have 7 Coloured Earths. On the play, if it's after round 2, your cards in hand gain 26 power this turn. Next up, Krishna's Butterball. On the play, if played in the middle slot, the card opposite this loses 50 power this turn, and 9 of your random Natural Monuments and 9 of your random Weird World cards, wherever they are, gain 23 power until played. Next is Looking Glass Rock. On the play, gain 70 power this turn, and then on the return, if you lost a turn, lose 10 power permanently. So I do like to try and play this card on a turn where I have Heimdall already going, or I have Door to Hell on the go, as the -10 penalty is undesirable. Next up we have Fly Geyser. On the play, your cards adjacent and opposite this card gain 25 power this turn. Then we have Grand Prismatic Spring. On the play, for every non-science album in your deck, your Natural Monuments cards, wherever they are, gain 4 power until played. And the last of the Natural Monuments is Giant's Causeway. On the return, your opponent's cards, wherever they are, lose 20 power next turn. And if you won the turn, they lose another 10 power next turn. So next we have a few Norse mythology cards. So first up, Heimdall. On the return, if at least 6 cards in your deck are from different albums, your cards, wherever they are, gain 30 power this round. Then we have Sakti. On the play, your Natural Monuments cards in hand gain 26 power for 2 turns. And the last one is Hell. On the play, if you have lost 2 rounds this game, your cards in hand gain 55 power this turn. So Hell is not a necessary one. You could put any cheap Norse mythology card in here if you didn't have Hell. Next we have Yellow Jacket. At the start of a turn, your opponent's cards in hand lose 5 power until played. And on the play, your opponent's cards in hand lose 24 power this turn. Next is Arthur Pelura. On the play, your opponent's cards in hand with 45 or more base power lose 30 power this turn and the next turn. Then I've gone with Sea Sheep. On the play, your opponent's cards in hand with 41 or more base power lose 30 power this turn. I did have Bubba Worm in here, but I did like the little bit lower energy and the instant effect from Sea Sheep, so that's why that's in here. Next I've gone with Nzinga. On the draw, for every history card in your opponent's hand, your non-history cards in hand gain 5 power until played. And on the play, if it's the only history card in your deck, 8 of your random non-history cards, wherever they are, gain 18 power until played. If you don't have Nzinga, you could put in Renault Colony, or, well, it's probably the second best card for this deck. And last up is Lightspeed Travel. It is a mythic. On the draw, if your deck has 9 or more science cards, your science cards, wherever they are, gain 10 power permanently. If you don't have Lightspeed Travel, you could put any cheap space card in here. It should function pretty much the same. Maybe Greenwich Mean Time or something along those lines. So that is the deck I'm primarily going to be running with this week, just to climb. I think I've tested out a few games. I haven't lost one yet, so it's doing fairly well for me. You could probably make it a little bit more powerful if you were to tighten up the energy a little. But as it is, I think it's good enough. So what are you all playing this week? Any standout decks you've seen? I saw the Marsupials are also quite good this week. I ran into a few of them. It seems a very solid deck. And maybe the Going Underground cards might have some potential as well, with the new ones released today. So that could be a future deck to look out for. So here we go. It looks like we are against a bot. So this won't be a fantastic showcase for the deck. But we'll start out with Nzinga, Butterball and Sakti. So it is a Raging Rivers deck. So I don't think there'll be any trouble here. So if we win this quickly enough, I'll jump into another game. Hopefully we'll get a real opponent. So the Raging Rivers I don't think are quite there yet as a deck. I think there's still some room for improvement. So we'll go Vinkunka, the Giant's Causeway, and we'll play the Sea Sheep as well for a 432. That puts us well ahead. Hopefully we can get our Cyclopean Isles around soon, just to help with the energy. As you can see, the early game is a bit of a struggle to make sure you can play 3 cards. So we're just going to get our cheap stuff around for a 185, and we'll hope that is enough to win the round. And it looks like it is. And we'll have Heimdall for next turn, and hopefully Cyclopean Isles as well. And if we draw that fairly soon, we'll be set up for the rest of the game. And there it is right now. So we're going to put that around the Yellow Jacket and the Heimdall. And then next turn I'll be able to play the Looking Glass Rock. And it should be powerful enough not to lose the turn. So the Cyclopean Isles will make all our monuments 1 energy cheaper for 4 turns. And that should be enough to cycle around until we draw it again. There is our 7 coloured Earths. And we're going to save that for the first turn of the 3rd round. And I think I'll just get around Rainy, Prismatic Spring and Looking Glass Rock this turn. And that'll put us well ahead to be able to play Lightspeed Travel next turn. And then we should be lined up for Door to Hell in the 3rd round, which should make things fairly easy to get the win. So I'm going to go Nzinga, the Arts of Pelura and the Lightspeed Travel. I was taking a slight risk playing a weaker hand, but I wasn't too worried, as the Raging Rivers are not a fantastic deck. And I think we'll be able to dominate this round now. So here we go. We'll go 7 coloured Earths, Krishna's Butterball, and the Sakti for a 4.97. That puts us well ahead. And we'll get around the Giant's Causeway and the Vinkunka next turn. So go Giant's Causeway, the Fly Geyser, and the Vinkunka for a 500. And then the Giant's Causeway will do 30 to all of his cards next turn. And that will pretty much guarantee us the win. Especially with the Door to Hell. So we go Cyclopean, Door to Hell, and I suppose the Yellow Jacket, just to assure the victory. So there we have it, folks. Nice, easy game against the bot. So I'm going to jump into another game and see if we can get a real opponent, so you can see how the deck functions against a proper deck. But as it stands, I think this will be more than good enough to get people into rank 1. So we'll just jump straight into another one. The occult deck doesn't seem to be working out too well for me this week, so I'm not 100% sure if I'll showcase that. But I think the Fearsome Flyers definitely has some potential. So I think that'll be a viable deck for this week anyway. It probably won't be top tier, but it'll be mid-range and good enough to win against a lot of decks. And of course, if you are struggling this week, you can always play the Ancient Egypt deck. It's just as strong this week as any other week, since it does get cheaper and cheaper as you play along. So it looks to be another bot, I think. I don't recognise this as a bot name. We'll say hello just to scope it out. So we'll start off with Nzinga, Arthur Pelura, and Heimdall. So it's a... not sure what kind of deck this is. Might just be a Roman Empire deck. If so, it should be another easy win for us. The Roman Empire is a fairly decent deck, but I think they do need the arena to really shine. It's going to get hell around the Rainy and the Looking Glass Rock for a 540. And hopefully we get our Cyclopean Isles soon again. But we can play our cheaper cards this turn anyway. So we'll get rid of the cheap monuments out of our hand. Okay, this is definitely a bot then, if they're playing Tetsudo formation on the last turn of a round. It is a little unfortunate, but you'll still get to see how the deck plays. It's not much different from other Natural Monuments decks I have posted before. So you should be fairly familiar with how it all operates as it is. So I am going to go with Krishna, Lightspeed, and Sakti. So we are well ahead again in this round. And there is the Cyclopean Isles. So I'm going to play that with the... probably the Vinkunka and the Sea Sheep. Actually, I'm going to play Sea Sheep and Yellow Jacket, just to make sure the energy is right for next round. So the opponent did catch up a little bit there, but that's because I chose to play some weaker cards, just to fix the energy. But here we go, just to make sure we win this round. And the Giant's Causeway will do some damage for next round as well. And Nzinga is quite useful against decks like this that play mostly history cards, as it does give a little boost to the cards in hand, which does make it a little bit better than Rhino Colony for this deck anyway. So we'll play Rainy, Nzinga, or play Rainy, Hell, and Heimdall, just to set us up now. The energy is still a bit tight now at the moment, but even if it is, you can still play pretty much 3 cards on every turn. You're not going to struggle too much with that. That will bring us close to getting even. And then we just need a half decent hand to finish out the game. And we got our Door to Hell to help with that. So Arthur Plura, Butterball and Door to Hell should be enough to finish out this game. And there we have it, folks. So as you can see, the deck is more than powerful enough to get you up those ranks. So if you are struggling this week, go ahead and make the deck. The code will be in the description. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And I'll be back to you later in the week with some more deck profiles. And we'll leave it there, folks. Cards Everywhere, out.